Attention. Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you also to Hans for coming, and Amin is here as well. This is the second time we've shown with Hans. The last time was only 14 years ago.
14 years ago.
Yeah, so it's incredible. So maybe we'll have to have a little longer gap this time. But it's brilliant to have Hans here again. Again, every time he comes, it brings so many mysteries, so many stories, and so many interesting things. So, what I would like to do, if possible, is I'll invite Hans to tell us what, why, how, because there's so many questions, and if you can just give us an introduction, that would be fantastic. Hans.
Well, where to start?
Where to start? Yeah.
Excuse me for my English because I'm not talking the whole day. It's very tiring. Yeah, it's for me. It's watching and seeing and hearing and using the senses a sort of adventure, and I'm trying to use a lot of words like intensity. Communication with what am I seeing, where am I looking, what am I hearing, and I'm trying to make sort of concentration in an image. And the first time I made a lot of drawings. Before I made a lot of paintings, and I had a sort of feeling of walking through the mud, going to the drawing. It's not so that paint is mud, but that was my feeling. That I could draw much more with clarity and using the drawing of this feels more natural. And I was once with a big exposition in Rotterdam, in Holland. I come from Holland. In the Boymans, and there was an expo of the most famous, one of the most famous artists, and he made landscape like this, and it was a space totally dark, and when you were using the light, there became little spots, very slowly, and I walked to a spot, and it was a landscape, and it was like, and I'm watching through the world, it's a certain world, and it was for me a sort of sign. I have to do this, but in some other way. Much bigger, because I was also influenced with the word Panavision, so I make it bigger, larger. And I made a lot of drawings that were 3 meters by 1.5, and it was a challenge in making them. And I made a lot of those big drawings, a lot of work, and you can see them in the book also. But sometimes it was hurting, it's more and more and more and more. And now that became another challenge in making the work smaller. And this is a little bit result of different kind of series I'm making. Like the series are a sort of chapters in the life book in my life, and some they called radiation or the conjunction. Conjunction is a sort of situation which two elements are in the perfect connection, and radiation. But it's a kind of living with that, and to be alert on what's happening and in what sort of period I'm living in, and how can I react. And using my form, this form, like an alchemist, make them in a sort of way which have a lot of mystery way of making them. Like for me, it's important that there is, when you're looking at something, it's not immediately obvious, but you have to take time to communicate with a thing. And in this society, you have to react immediately. Oh, that's that. Things are stuck in an idea. That's a bike is a bike. But something bikey is something different. And what is a drawing? It's So for me, it's a challenge to use this form now at the moment to do that. Yeah, to do that adventure, and I'm trying to do it in a sort of contrast between attraction and repulse. Sometimes you have, when there is a ship and there is water very deep, the tension of that space between the ship and the trottoir, and when you're looking inside, there is a sort of, oh no, but still it attracts. And I'm trying to do that way, that strategy, and looking at a drawing, looking at my work, so that it's attraction, and going nearby, what's happening, what's this, how is this? So that's a little bit, yeah, and sometimes very actual moments are coming in, what's happening now in the world, and all kind of the war, and you're getting influenced constantly, and you have to be very selective what you want to come in, but sometimes it's very difficult. And then there is no choice, so okay, I feel ashamed by this drawing. This. I don't overlook this. So sometimes that is very actual, but and that's, you can manage it. You can do. Sometimes you're feeling quite different. Well, let it come in, or don't. I don't want to see it. But this is then the solution, like a dark cloud. I can tell a lot of stories. You know?
Yes,
It's amazing. 2 hours later. Yeah. But this is the. I felt this is the. Shall I explain?
Yes.
This is me. I felt isolated, and I put myself in a plastic bag across my tubes with the large drawings, and I felt I'm a drawing now. I don't go any further, I'm one of them. So, when I saw that picture, I immediately thought, let me be a cloud hanging above this landscape. And but not too obvious. It has to be a cloud, a dark cloud, like a thread. But it's also on the landscape itself. It's not surreal, but it's there. Maybe prehistoric. This one is into the ground and searching what is in the ground, what is up. So a lot of questions. In life there is a lot of questions, and it's endless. And every time you have to choose, what do you want? What's the most important thing for me? And what do you want to express? So the contrast between the lights and the holes. It's also influenced by Paul Nash. Paul Nash, the painter.
Yeah.
And John was telling me about Paul Nash. I didn't know him, and then for me it was, oh my God, this is for UK incredible. Yeah, because in French, okay, and in Belgium a lot of surrealist painters, but Paul Nash is making it. He introduces a sort of surreal in the landscape, but it stays very, I'm here too. The feeling, it's a different feeling than Dali or something like this. It's not a dream, it's reality. And that attracts me, and that's why this was influenced by him, and the war feeling. there is war, and there is a lot is happening, and you can be an artist who is okay. I don't include that also. I'm just making this. I'm open, so I can close me, and I can put me in a sort of. So that's a little bit. Yeah.
Absolutely, always fascinating.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Maybe because you communicated to us that was your face, and earlier you said something else, but this, when I looked at it earlier when I came in, there's this concentric circles now emanating from the head. Why was the radiation you were talking about?
It's there are moments which are it's like when I was a child, I always lived by churches. I always slept in a house near a church, and when the bells were ringing, I always noticed the one moment which the three clocks are putting together in one moment. You know, 3 waves of the clocks, and sometimes time one. And then as a child, I was waiting on that moment. So that must be the happy moment. To be religious or something like that. I don't know. but the thing is that with in life, things are happening at the same way. Not there are a lot of waves, and sometimes you're feeling, oh, this is the right moment to choose, or the right moment to work, or the right moment to take decisions. And conjunction means that it's from the moon and the earth, that the planets are in conjunction, in a sort of relationship, in the perfect moment. And sometimes in life, that's the same feeling. And it's interesting, because there is no time in that moment. It's one, for me that's pure intensity. And then it flows, okay, then everything is coming in. And now I have to deal with it.
You've got quite a lot of black, or I'm seeing quite a lot of black, and
Yeah.
when I first see a painting just next door, I'm thinking celestial as well. Maybe that's
Yeah.
my images.
Yeah.
Coming out, but
Well, the black is of course has always been a mystery, you know, of Malevich, the black of the square of Malevich, and the black of Anish Kapoor, and the black is what's black? What is that? And for me, it was it is intensity. Like when I'm using color, the color has always to do with temperature and what a color is, and way of working with color. But for me, is always color is temperature, and the black is endless. And you know, there is Vanta black, it's called, and Anish Kapoor uses the Vanta black because it's the most black. And when I'm using Vanta black, I am a silhouette. It's so black. And but the black I'm using is toner from old copy machines. And for me, from starting out of an alchemist's way of discovering and searching, what can I do with this? It's very important to it's a sort of marriage with the material and how I am going to use this material. And that I'm starting with a paper with the dots. So when I use a piece of paper from a roll, a tube, my English paper, and yeah, it's very good paper. But the paper is nothing yet at that moment, just a piece of paper. And then I search for a way, I'm doing it a long time because I'm starting a relationship with the paper. And the paper does like me. I have to be very, you know, paper. We're going to do something. I'm not an ego, just I'm doing this with you know? The paper is always, every material is talking back. When you are too stubborn and I'm doing this, it's no good. And then I'm doing the dots, and when I'm doing it, the paper gets a little bit, okay, it feels good. You can do with me something. That's the first start. And I did it also with the big drawings, with the large ones. A lot of work, a lot of pain in the shoulder, and it has also a certain like a monk who is in a certain atmosphere. You know, it's, and then there is the decision what I'm going to do with you. And the paper sometimes says you have to do this. Yeah, it's strange, but it works for me. So I'm always in for it, communicate with the things I want to do with it.
Some of your works have a, oh sorry.
Yeah. No.
So you, like sci-fi influenced?
No,
Is there?
no.
Just looking at
for me,
these
when
feels really.
yeah, but sometimes it's sci-fi, but I'm trying to. Sometimes yeah, it's not sci-fi. No. It's from really the earth. It's from water and something to light and it's using the filter how you look. And there are filters which work like this. And for instance, how should I say? So for me, there is a certain. I'm going to tell it different. My father had a friend, and he lived in the war in the woods for a long time, so he knew every animal sound. And we were walking when I was a child. We walked through the woods, through the water, straight, not like this, but straight. And I was feeling the water. What's this? What's this? It's very soft and a wonder, like what's happening to me. And that feeling of the water was also that I know you're aware of that experience. When you're going to walk into the water, there's a certain level which is a little bit of feeling like it's on-off. When I'm going deeper, it's getting dangerous. I have to be safe. And that moment of feeling not safe or safe, that's the critical moment. And it's a strange parallel with making a drawing, but the drawing is doing the same. When you're going too far, it's not good. It's not good. You're not. And I love to stay on that frontier, on that moment, because that's a very critical moment. And in the make of the drawing, there is always a critical moment when I have to stop, going on and on. There is sometimes now I have to stop. Also with conversations like this.
That was a question.
Yeah.
When
I'm
do you
using
know
too
to
much
stop?
words, it's always. Yeah.
When do you know to stop? Is it a particular feeling? Or?
When it's okay, when the intensity is there, and yeah, I think everybody has it. When you're cooking or when you're using too much, or okay, now it's the mayonnaise is gone. Yeah, but in making a drawing is that there is something which has to be there, and you cannot manipulate it on a. If I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, it's going to be okay. But it's a sort of natural process to reach that point of now it's okay. I cannot put that in words, but
You feel it.
yeah.
So you mentioned the colors for your temperature, right?
Yeah.
Kind of beautiful. On this conversation about the limit of almost over. So what I'm also hearing is that you refer to all of this work as drawing. So where is that limit? Where? Because I trying to understand.
Yeah.
They're not paintings.
No.
Yeah,
It could be.
so-
It's-
Okay, so it's the limit there, but it could be okay. So it's an open statement as well.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating because as I see it from my first instance experience, that you can painting, but then drawing, and then I learned that when I was going to come here today, there were drawings. So I'm like, it's because for me they're unusual as well. Drawings.
Well, there are hundreds of ways to draw, and you can draw in one line, like Steinberg or illustrators, or like Matisse, in one line, a total nude, and there are so many ways of drawing, and drawing, painting is walking through mud, and drawing is catching a fly, or something like that. That sort of, yeah. But it's all idea, and the idea is very good when you have an idea, but it's also a certain end in the idea. You have to develop the idea, but an idea is a very important idea, or an idea is not so important. So when I have to go to the toilet, it's also an idea. But to make a drawing, it's also so there isn't a difference in having the idea, but you have to deal with the form you want to express. And when I'm saying I'm using the color as a temperature, it's when you're drawing a nude, you can search for the hot places and the very cool places, and that's a sort of different kind of strategy. Yeah, you can do it on a very conservative way of anatomy, but there are different kind of strategies to approach something, and that's what I want to create with my drawings. That the approach is not the first thing you expect of I'm making drawings. So you have an image in front. Oh, that's okay. But these drawings, I try to draw not drawings. They don't have to be drawings. I'm not a member of the drawing club. Please, no.
Thank you.
Yeah. For me, just a form to express.
That's wonderful, man. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.